Activision presents a smashing blast from the past. Developed by Vicarious Visions. It's Crash Bandicoot!
The box-smashing marsupial has returned home to the PlayStation as an exclusive since bouncing around ownership and developers since the release of Crash Bash back in 2000. Vicarious Visions brings us a remake of Naughty Dog's original Crash Bandicoot trilogy titled Crash Bandicoot N.Sane Trilogy.
It's Crash Bandicoot! It's Crash Bandicoot 2! Cortex Strikes Back! Crash Bandicoot Warped!
After plenty of skepticism and speculation since learning of Activision's hand in this remake, rest assured these three classic games have been handled with tremendous care. The team at Vicarious Visions has found a way to both remain true to the original games while even adding in some of their own artistic twists. When you hear that a developer is putting their own twists on a classic game that they did not originally develop, it would almost always be a terrible thing. But Vicarious Visions found a winning formula with the N.Sane Trilogy. The remastered music and sound effects sound incredible and true to the originals throughout the three games. Crash Bandicoot feels similar to the way it originally did, with some very limited controls, making some aspects of platforming more difficult than it should be. The game is definitely a product of its time, and while this may put some newcomers off, the following two games fix that problem completely and make the series what it is. Despite the rough maneuvering in the first game, it still offers some iconic platforming and quick thinking problem solving. Overcoming a challenge gives you an overwhelming sensation of accomplishment. Adding relics to both this game and Cortex Strikes Back gives you the incentive to go back for more, especially if you enjoyed going back to better your times in the original version of Warped. Cortex Strikes Back shines as the highlight of the series as it balances the perfect line of difficult platforming and puzzle solving with fun and challenging gameplay. There is something about the difficulty of Crash 2 that differentiates it from the pack without being tedious or frustrating. While it had me burning extra lives, I always found myself saying that I had it this next try, even when I didn't. The sequel does away with the control troubles of its predecessor and even makes platforming actually difficult because of its puzzle aspect without it being a matter of restricted capabilities. Crash Warped still remains a profoundly enjoyable game while being slightly easier than the prior two installments, but that is merely due to the implementation of the power-ups received from defeating the bosses. This is not a bad thing though, as it differentiates the game from Cortex Strikes Back, making it less of a copy and adds new ways for you to figure out the platforming puzzles that each stage has to offer. However, there are a few control hiccups alike to the first game that make some stages less enjoyable. Stiff handling makes Crash's motorcycle feel as if it cannot make some of the turns, and the loose floating while Crash's deep sea diving had me floating into deadly obstacles and unintentionally burning lives. Coco, formerly only available in Warped, will now time travel to any game you wish at any time if you would rather play as Crash's younger sister, though her availability as an alternative playable character neither gives or takes away from the experience, as she really only offers some different animations than her brother Crash. Cortex Strikes Back and Warped feel more like modern games that have stood up to the high standards for what fans remember them as. While the first game has its limitations and feels very dated, it remains an enjoyable game in PlayStation and Naughty Dog's history. The autosave option is a much welcomed addition. As the game industry has seemingly moved beyond restrictive save points, it keeps the remaster feeling much more up to date. Discovering the old secrets will make you feel a nostalgic kick in the chest if you played the originals. But for newcomers, Vicarious Visions has added in some helpful hints to nudge you in the right directions. The new animations look incredible, from the existing ones that were enhanced to the new ways Crash decides to carry the gems, crystals, and relics out of levels. Seeing Crash's terrified face as he barrels through levels, avoiding the bone-crushing obstacles, amplifies the atmosphere of the dangerous world he lives in. Crash Bandicoot is definitely a franchise that has seen many ups and even more downs, but despite any doubt, Vicarious Visions has delivered a classic gem to the modern era.